Hello, everybody.
Привет!
Oh, Baruski.
Can I do that?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You asked me not to tell you anything, so we'll start with something. The first thing that's on my mind is that we did not do any talking, to the camera in summer. So that's why the question is that summer's gone. Do you feel any regrets about the summer?
Any regrets about this?
Yeah, like.
No, actually, it was.
How was it?
Well, for me, it was fairly productive, both at work and in my downtime. I guess I won't bore everybody with it, but long story short, summer camp, that was a success. It was very enjoyable, and
Not a single inadequate parent. I mean, all the parents were, I guess, from it most.
yeah. Well, compared with other camps that we've had, it was relatively stress-free. I mean, of course, we had. I'm not going to name any names, but we had the usual sort of,
I know the name.
incidents involving a little bit of alcohol, and two young boys on the very last day of the whole camp, last day of the last stream. We went into their room, smelled something slightly suspicious, which it had been lingering for 2 weeks, and we got the boys to really investigate, find out what this was. Did anybody tell you about it?
No.
Okay, the boys were about 10 or 11, and they're searching through their room, they're ripping everything up, under the beds and what have you. Then one of them came out with a plastic bag, basically just full of maggots. It had been there. One of them,
Oh my God.
when they first got in the room, they put the bag somewhere, I don't know where, maybe down the back of the bed.
Was it with food?
With food, yeah, it had food in it, and it had just been festering for 2 weeks. And in fairness, Oля, who one of our teachers, every time she went into this room, and we both came back out, she'd say, "There's something not right in that room," and I'd be like, "No, they're boys, they just stink."
Yeah, it's some weird. I feel presence in this room. Some other organism.
But to go back to it, no regrets. No, I saw my parents, which was great for the first time in a couple of years, and they were good. Great to see them. What about you? Any regrets?
Thinking. I guess I stayed here all the time, so for me summer is last
This
summer.
man needs a holiday.
I do need, and honestly, my wife has just texted me again and said that that it's holiday time. And
She's right.
yes, indeed, and well, I'm planning to have one. I think November is the right time when.
I will gladly be your deputy while you're away.
Cool. Try walking in my shoes.
I don't think I could take the stress, to be honest. My head would pop after.
You won't be able to handle yourself, So Tom, there is a new group. Really? Which one? Oh, those guys. Yeah,
I don't want to take it, but you have to. But I don't want it.
But it's Friday. All right. No. I think we did a good job on the summer camp, definitely. So, speaking of work-related issues, I think it's going well. But the thing is, I definitely. I'm not a summer person. I like. I'm more into spring or autumn. But for some obscure reason, I regret summer's gone. I feel bad summer's gone. Maybe.
I think. Sorry to interrupt. I think it's a legacy for all of us of we're still ingrained with the academic timetable that we had at school. We just naturally associate summer with sort of fun times, or at least at the very least a bit more of a relaxed attitude.
Okay. So going from summer to autumn, I mean, speaking of the current state of affairs, current news. I just wonder, because we have not talked about that. Maybe you have discussed it with some students. what was in the news that made made you angry, maybe, or quite the opposite? You felt happy about.
Well, relatively recently, the Scottish referendum.
Interesting.
Well, it was constitutionally, it was a unique event.
I totally missed
in one
it.
sense. Sorry?
I totally missed it. Actually, I don't know what's. I mean, it's over, right?
Oh yeah, they had the referendum, I think 2 weeks ago, last Friday, and long story short, the result of the vote was no, insofar as they've chosen to stay as part of the union. But the debate surrounding should we or shouldn't we was really quite interesting. But you said what made you angry. I think the fact that there was even a referendum in the first place. Yeah. Well, let's look at it another way. It's a bit like you're with a group of friends and one of your friends says, "Oh, do you know what, guys? I think I might be able to do something a bit better over there, or have more fun over there. I'm going to see what it's like on that side just for a bit." And there was no... Alright, that's a pretty crude comparison, I suppose, but it was just a bit insulting, I think. To look at it the other way, if we had an English referendum saying, should we keep the Scots?
Yeah.
But the ones I sympathise with the most out of all of this, that rarely get talked about in the press and relative to the Scottish referendum, are the Irish. The Irish have been, as certainly parts of them, a few of the Northern Irish have been literally fighting for independence for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And yet we give this referendum to Scotland like it's a Christmas present.
Okay.
I say we give. It's not quite like that. So that, news-wise, that was for me pretty much the biggest thing recently, I guess.
Good. When we were having a chat about the book that we're using with the advanced level, you were looking through it and said, "Oh, geez, at last the idioms we're actually using." That struck me as as a pleasant surprise.
Well, it wasn't. Yeah, I can't remember them offhand, but they weren't sort of archaic like raining cats and dogs, for example, which is kind of used, but it's schoolboy stuff basically.
Yeah.
It's functional definitely, and you can obviously use it, but it's so basic that it implies that you don't actually know another good alternative.
Good. So, my idea was to discuss the idioms that native speakers don't use anymore. Think about that. I mean, raining cats and dogs is one of them. By the way, what are the alternatives? So if people want to say that it's, it's about hard rain, I don't know, something like that. Raining cats and dogs, any alternative? What do you actually
Not
say?
exactly idioms, I mean, I can't think
The
of
free
it's, well, I don't know if I can say this, but it's almost slang, it's verging on being, on swearing, but we might say it's pissing it. I say we might say, we do say, yeah.
Okay.
If it's just to describe different types of rain, I guess you could say the rain's so heavy it's sideways, which meaning that there's a combination of both wind, heavy, strong wind, and heavy rain as well. But I mean that's not really idiomatic.
It's raining so heavy that it's sideways?
No, we wouldn't. There's no sort of qualifier. We just say it's sideways.
Oh, it's sideways.
It's sideways. It's raining
Cool.
sideways.
Wait a second. I must pull up. Perfect. It's raining sideways.
It's raining sideways.
All right. That's amazing.
Just trying to think. Are we still on rain or just general?
Anything. Absolutely anything.
Now I'm wishing that you asked me this to check before, because I can't. And I know my parents are going to be watching this as well. My dad will be thinking, "You're an idiot." There are hundreds.
Have they watched the previous?
Yeah, they have.
So how did they find it?
They loved the. I think my dad certainly has watched the first one and the second, I think.
He hasn't watched the Ferris Bueller episode about Acura, you driving Acura.
No. Well, he certainly hasn't mentioned it, but they've been quite busy recently. But anyway, back to it. Come on, idioms.
For instance, I've recently heard this from Martin. In fact, I've heard the opinion of one of the natives that they don't ever say surf the net or surf the internet.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Nerds might say that, but I'm saying this as if I'm a spokesman for everybody that speaks English, which is obviously not true. But surf the net is a bit uncool, I guess.
Oh, okay.
We wouldn't
So what is
really
cool?
use that. What, as in to go online?
All right. Or anything else. Do you have another word? I mean, another like?
Verb.
It may be obscene, no problem.
Another verb to. For example, let's say we're at my house and we're good friends. Let's say we live together.
Okay.
We're not there yet. All right. But if casually you're just walking through the living room and I'm on the net, you say, "What are you doing?" I might say, "Oh, I'm just trawling a bit at the moment."
Trawling?
Trawling, yeah, it's a fish verb, fishing rather. Trawling
Yeah.
They might not know it.
T-R-A-W.
Yeah. To trawl essentially means to try and gather in one big group at one time. So, but you can also use it when you're just generally searching for something.
All right. Fine. Anything on your mind?
I'm just thinking back to the old books that we used to use. There were hundreds in there. I'm thinking sports idioms. We can edit this, can't we?
Oh, of course. For example, there have been loads of sports idioms. In one of the textbooks, that there was like to be on the ball.
Yeah. There were like 8 of them, and they were and I remember there were 3 or 4 of them that we just don't use.
Take your eyes off the ball.
No, that's fine. We absolutely use that. Ballpark figure we use.
What's that? It was not on the list.
Was it not on the list?
No.
A ballpark figure is a rough estimate of something. So how many people are on the streets right now? Ballpark figure 400.
Oh, that's great. That's pretty useful. Okay.
But that doesn't answer your question, does it? I keep getting biscuits. But it's not really an idiom as such, but it's an expression that we would use after. I'll give you the expression first. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Okay.
Yeah. Essentially, what it's saying, excuse my language, is shit happens. There's nothing you can do about it. So, for that to be a relevant expression, something has to have happened that you can't really. You have no control. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Beyond reasonable control.
Yeah, basically. But that that used to be common in the same way that raining cats and dogs did at one stage. Now not so much anymore. But
that's the way the cookie crumbles. Jeez, I'm right now I'm trying to zombify myself into using that. Actually, it sounds so nice.
But there are other variants of it. Choose whichever food you want, basically, that can crumble.
Yeah, of course.
Right now that's the only one I can remember.
Right. No, raining cats and dogs. It's too old. And you say, it's raining.
Well, only if it actually is raining sideways. But I don't want to encourage people to say it's pissing it.
Oh.
But
if you are in an informal environment, atmosphere.
Formal environment. Informal.
Yeah. It's busy.
Yeah, if you're in an informal environment, it's pissing it down out there.
Geez. Russian people don't use it this way. Don't have this kind of metaphor. Interesting. It brings back horrible references again about shower, if you know what I mean. Oh God, no, let's not. Fine, let's. It's raining sideways if it's a hard rain. Yes.
Strong rain accompanied with wind, basically, which is essentially pushing the.
Then, how about the cookie thing? That's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
I started loving, the form of it.
Well, there are lots of others like that. Don't cry over spilt milk. But these are not fables. What are they?
Proverbs.
Proverbs. Thank you.
That's no use crying over spilt milk.
Yeah. It's just stuff like that. We just don't really.
Honestly,
you know what they say. Sorry. My dad will like that. I hope.
You know what they say. Jeez. When you start thinking of it, Russian people don't use proverbs in real life. I mean, or maybe in their written speech, but in in real life, in colloquial speech, never. I've never heard that. Maybe I remember that when I was a kid, back in those days, and someone would say, trying to find the equivalent, something like, you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs.
Breaking a few eggs,
a few eggs.
The same.
Yeah, and I remember hearing an equivalent in Russian language, about the fishing. But it was like, with kids it's okay. But with adults, nah.
But I find that interesting because you guys are very, not you necessarily, but Russians generally tend to be quite superstitious in a way that I wouldn't have guessed before I came over here.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, so I would have thought that the two went, reasonably hand in hand. Anyway.
Good. Next one, we have a couple of more rubrics to go. Today's one will be quite short, I believe. Including editing, but we have to get in shape. Another one, what's in your headphones? I wanted to get back to this one.
Still
Panther.
Still a bit of Steel Panther. I'm actually re-listening now, if you like, to a band which I did a bit of work with in 2000. No, did I work with? No, my old boss's daughter used to play in this band. That's right. And it's a band called the Duke Spirit. Did I mention them before? I feel like I've talked about them. No, they're good. They're a really...
the Duke?
The Duke Spirit. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that means.
Spirit, it means like alcohol? Or?
It could be, depending on how you want to interpret it, or the soul within the Duke, whoever that is.
Right.
But yeah, they're really good.
What's the style?
Style is sort of rock stroke indie. I know in your mind you'll think blah, right there. But the singer, God, I can't remember her name now. Beautiful blonde lady. She has a voice which reminds me some. Who did Somebody to Love? Was that Jefferson Starship?
No, probably.
Don't you want some? Yeah, you know the song. Anyway, this lady's voice reminds me a lot of her, but plus with some effects. And lyrically, they're really interesting as well. I won't go on about them too much, but
are they still active?
I think so. They're definitely tour. I think they're touring at the moment.
Hmm.
Or at least they were over the summer. They never, well, as yet they haven't made any real commercial
Success.
Had any commercial success, but they've been around for a while.
I'll check this out. So you
Yeah,
say that's kind of indie-ish? Or
Yeah, indie rock crossover, I guess that's the way.
That's cool. That's hip now.
Yeah.
In my case, it's something I've discovered recently. It's a few bands. I'm a sucker for female voices, actually. You've mentioned, you've noticed it, I believe. And one of them is called Honey Blood. Have you heard of it? Honey Blood.
Honey Blood? Never heard.
Two girls from Scotland. One of them has recently quit, the drummer. As far as I remember, if I understood it correctly, so she's been replaced. It's an amazing indie rock, like noisy, very loud record. I mean, it's a self-titled album, I believe.
Debut album.
Yeah, it's a debut, I believe, and I can't stop listening. I've been listening to it since summer. That's amazing. Very, very powerful, great sound.
Is it one of those albums that you just cannot put down, no matter how many times you've heard it?
I don't know, for some reason, yes.
Yeah. That happens.
Yeah, and very nice vocals, great crunchy, like even like a ripping guitar sound, very rough. On the noisy side,
You're basically describing the band I just mentioned.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I think a bit of I don't think overdrive on the vocals. Maybe they have the same thing, but I don't remember that too well now because it's mixed a bit in my head. Yeah, but this is worth if you are into that sort of music, into indie, like very noisy indie rock with female vocals, very nice. Very nice thing to check out, definitely, and I'll check those guys.
Yeah, you might.
Another one, it's kind of interesting thing that I picked this one. I picked this one up from Saturday Night Live. One of the episodes of Saturday Night Live. They sometimes have some nice indie bands. Sometimes some douchebags, as I don't know, Kanye West or something, Justin Bieber, and sometimes they have some nice indie bands. This one is interesting. It's called Sleigh Bells.
As in
sleigh, it means like the Santa sleigh.
Yeah, E-I-G-H.
Yeah, E-I-G-H. It's Sleigh Bells. It's a weird mixture of something like I don't know, even death metal guitars, drum machine, and pop. Basically, pop choruses and like basically a pop song, something like around indie pop, with a drum machine sound and imitating, not exactly imitating, but it's a bit sounds a bit like thrash metal or death metal sound.
So if you had to put a general label on this, what would you call it? I know labeling sucks.
These days, it's it's every type of music like that is called indie stuff, and it has always been like that. And
it's so safest bet.
It's safest thing because normally when people say, "Oh, I'm into indie music," it means like something.
You're not sure.
Oh my God, it's not that. Indie is in a broader sense. Not guys in gumshoes.
Well, I'd be interested how many people actually know what indie means.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah. And I should check this out. It's basically, if you remember that there are two bass drums, like the typically death metal thing. Yeah, and then heavy guitar, and a pop song basically.
And this sounds like
it's a weird mixture, really.
It sounds like people messing around in a garage and just completely coming across it by accident and thinking, "Now hang on, we might be."
I think it started this way because I remember the Wikipedia article on this guy So the songwriter is well, an ex-metal band guy, and she is an the vocalist. It's normally as usual, it's a duo. She's from a girl band, yeah, like some pop girl band, and the mixture of it. You know, there are some metal bands with female vocals, right? But this one is a curious sort of mixture of a pop song with metal elements, which sound like it's so eclectic, and some people might say, "What the?"
Musically, are they tight, or do they just kind of not really care? Do they? They don't take themselves too seriously, I guess.
No, I don't think so. The only thing is that the recent album, album of 2012, which is called Reign of Terror.
As in R-A-I-N?
Yes. Yeah, it's the typically metal name. I think it's tighter and it's better. It's more melodic at the same time. And 2013, oh geez, I forgot the title. I'll put the subtitle here, that's what the name is. They switched into more of a pop thing. It has got, you know, more of a pop drums, but still some. And, you know, the guitars became less, you know, rigid and crunchy, but more like more. How do you call that when they're like not chin 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 chin, no, not like that, but more into spacious or like
eclectic.
No, I mean the sound itself.
Airy?
Airy, yeah, right, yeah, this is a good one. More airy sound, less like
punchy.
Crunchy, yes. Yeah, but still quite good. So, Sleigh Bells,
Sleigh Bells,
Sleigh Bells, check this out, it's more fun. Right, we have to wind up. And the last thing I wanted to ask, what do you expect from the coming Halloween? Because Halloween is on the doorstep, basically.
Yeah, somebody, I won't name her name, one of my colleagues, I guess for a joke, but it might be one of those that ends up ringing true. I just went into the staff room and she said, "Guess who's organising Halloween this year?" and pointed at me.
Yeah, it was when we had a teachers meeting. I said, okay, you guys, you deal with kids, like you deal with twins, you deal with teens. Okay, and Tom and I will figure it out. And we'll do something for adults. Yeah, and I think we'll do something about that. Definitely, we'll, at least if we manage to pull this stunt with the party and the beers, that will be cool.
So if anybody out there has any ideas, do let us know. I'm thinking maybe Halloween karaoke.
Well, I think that could be one, you know, that would be part of the thing.
What was your question? The original question?
The original, yeah, well, what do you expect from them? What are their plans for Halloween?
I would like the kids this year to actually show some enthusiasm.
Yeah, last year.
Not that any of the kids are going to be watching this, but I think over the last couple of years, because they've had a sort of too cool for it.
Too cool for it, yes.
Approach. Maybe that's our fault. I don't know.
Let someone else do
putting it across. But
we'll have some enthusiastic characters who may, beat some sense into. All right. So let's enjoy the sunshine while it's still there, and we have like something like Indian summer coming.
Indeed.
Yeah. I totally forgot. I'm looking at you now on your cool T-shirt, and I remember what I wanted to do. I wanted to wear a T-shirt today, but I totally forgot to.
Next time.
Next time.
Hopefully it'll still be warm enough. Global warming.
Yeah, global.
No, I'm joking.
Okay. All right. See you around. See you next time.
See ya.
Bye.